Salah satu pembicara yang akan bicara di hari ini adalah orang dari luar ya, dari luar Indonesia, dan beliaunya menggunakan bahasa Inggris. Karena beliaunya sudah datang belum? Oh, alhamdulillah belum datang. Aman ya, pakai bahasa Indonesia saja. Oke, hari ini saya akan bicara tentang challenges ya, educational challenges. Apa sih inklusi itu ya, inclusion ya. Itu asal katanya juga dari include ya, include atau komunitas gitu, atau sebuah grup. Tidak, kebalikannya adalah exclude ya, exclusion atau eksklusif. Jadi kalau misalnya kita di VIP gitu misalnya ya, itu biasanya kita mengeksklusifkan, ada tempat khusus untuk orang-orang yang khusus gitu ya. Tetapi inklusif ini menjadikan semua perbedaan itu di dalam satu. Jadi ini tidak hanya perbedaan dalam hal fisik ya, yang saya maksud adalah disabilitas, tetapi juga berbagai aspek komponen seperti misalnya agama, ras, budaya, bahasa, apapun itu, yaitu menjadi satu dalam sebuah komunitas ya, menjadi satu gitu ya. Sebelum saya mulai, next ya. Kita bicara tentang disability dulu ya. Kalau kita mau bicara tentang inklusi, kita bicara tentang disabilitas. Mungkin ada yang tahu disabilitas itu apa? Ada yang dari jurusan psikologi mungkin ya. Ada? Oh Zia, cuma Bu Zia ya. Ya. Untuk yang belum tahu ya, ini kita sedikit bicara tentang beberapa term juga mungkin nanti ya. Jadi disability sendiri itu banyak kita temui di definisinya di berbagai literatur, termasuk di berbagai undang-undang ya. Kita bisa lihat di sana. Ini saya ambil simpelnya saja ya, bahwa disability itu sebuah kondisi di mana ini secara fisik ya ataupun mental yang memiliki satu keterbatasan ya, secara signifikan memiliki satu keterbatasan, dan ini memiliki impact yang panjang, long term impact terhadap aktivitas yang dilakukan itu secara sehari-hari gitu ya. Daily activity-nya itu terganggu karena keterbatasan yang dia miliki, baik physically atau mentally. Jadi ini termasuk dalam sensori ya, seperti saya misalnya, saya tunanetra gitu. Ada hal-hal yang tidak bisa saya lakukan gitu. Nah, daily activities-nya misalnya saya memasak, sulit buat saya. Menulis, membaca itu sulit buat saya. Bahkan mobilitas saya terganggu. Dan ini nanti akan saya jelaskan lebih jauh ya. Banyak sekali juga termasuk beberapa kondisi lain, termasuk ketika kita mendapatkan penyakit sebenarnya. Jadi seperti cancer gitu, atau muscular sclerosis gitu, atau berbagai macam itu yang kemudian mengganggu sekali lagi daily activity kita, dan ini long term sifatnya. Jadi bukan yang kalau misalnya patah tulang ya, kita nggak bisa jalan, kita pakai kruk atau kita pakai kursi roda, tapi beberapa bulan kemudian kita sehat. Ini tidak termasuk disability gitu ya. Oke, next. Ya, ada yang tahu kira-kira berapa jenis disabilitas atau difabel di dunia gitu? Ada yang tahu nggak? Ada yang pernah dengar? Ada yang pernah mungkin? Jadi di beberapa literatur ada yang menyebutkan ada 14, 15, ya, ada 11 gitu ya. Saya sendiri mengambil dari salah satu literatur ya, di bukunya Mangun Song. Ini kalau di psikologi, saya backgroundnya juga psikologi. Itu ada, kalau mau baca di psikologi pendidikan anak berkebutuhan khusus ya, anak dan remaja khusus. Nah, itu menyebutkan ada 11 ya. Yang pertama adalah tunanetra, blind and visually impaired. Kenapa disebut dua ya? Blind and visually impaired. Artinya tunanetra sebenarnya ada dua memang. Yang satunya totally blind, kemudian yang kedua adalah visually impaired atau yang kita sebut low vision, yang seperti yang saya alami, low vision. Jadi saya masih memiliki sisa penglihatan, tetapi sangat-sangat terbatas sekali. Gitu. Dan intinya hampir sama lah ya, kesulitannya hampir sama seperti yang dihadapi oleh teman-teman yang tunanetra total gitu atau totally blind. Karakteristiknya banyak juga, dan untuk yang low vision ini ada sedikit berbeda ya dari yaitu tadi dia masih punya sisa penglihatan, otomatis kita juga nanti harus paham ya ketika dia sisa penglihatannya sebesar apa gitu ya. Kayak misalnya saya 10% gitu. Artinya sebenarnya saya masih bisa melihat dengan pembesaran berapa kali lipat gitu ya. Misalnya mungkin saya 72 poin ya. Kalau misalnya kita biasanya baca 12 poin ya. Saya 72 poin saya masih bisa. Kalau 12 ya otomatis sudahlah. Saya pasti tidak akan pernah membaca materi tersebut begitu ya. Ini contoh ya. Kemudian yang kedua ada tunarungu atau di luarnya disebutnya deaf atau hearing impairment ya. Tuli ya. Tunarungu atau tuli ya. Teman-teman ada yang suka dipanggil tuli. Ini kayak kalau bicara term juga kita juga harus hati-hati ya menyebut teman-teman yang baik tunarungu ataupun tuli gitu. Ya, tuli sendiri juga punya level. Jadi ada yang level ringan, kemudian ada sedang dan juga ada yang berat ya, profound ya. Kalau yang ringan mungkin bisa dibantu masih menggunakan alat bantu dengar, sehingga beberapa teman-teman juga mahasiswa difabel kita di Brawijaya ada yang bisa mendengar mendekati normal, saya bilang. Bukan normal ya, mendekati normal karena ada batasan juga ternyata gitu. Kemudian yang ketiga ada mute atau tunawicara ya, atau bisu. Jadi teman-teman ini karakteristiknya mereka sebenarnya tidak terganggu secara penglihatan ataupun pendengaran, tetapi memang ada masalah dalam organ bicaranya sehingga mereka kesulitan untuk komunikasi. Kadang malah ada yang juga sama seperti tuli ya, jadi tidak keluar suaranya. Kemudian yang keempat apa itu? Intelektual. Oh, bukan yang sebelumnya, yang sebelumnya, slide sebelumnya. Ya. Nah, yang keempat di intellectual disability ya. Ini tunagrahita kalau pernah dengar ya. Jadi gangguannya pada kemampuan intelektualnya. Biasanya disebutnya juga dulu retardasi mental. Penyebutannya juga sudah mulai berubah. Dulu disebutnya idiot gitu ya, dan macam-macam yang lebih negatif ya. Sekarang intellectual disability atau tunagrahita gitu disebutnya ya. Kemudian yang kelima berikutnya itu adalah tunadaksa. Ini physically impairment. Ini termasuk CP, cerebral palsy seperti itu ya. Kemudian ya yang kita lihat ya biasanya yang polio atau yang kehilangan anggota tubuh ya, tangan ataupun kaki ataupun lengkap tetapi tidak fungsi. Jadi kehilangan fungsi dari organ-organ geraknya gitu ya, secara motorik terganggu. Ini physically impairment ya. Kemudian berikutnya ada sosial ya. Sosial emosional atau yang kita sebut ini ada yang tahu? Tuna apa? Tuna laras, betul Mbak Lintang. Tuna laras yang kalau kita pernah lihat di Depsos biasanya ya, anak-anak pantian, anak nakal gitu ya. Karena mereka sebenarnya mengalami gangguan secara sosial emosional, jadi mudah marah karakteristiknya, tiba sangat sensitif terhadap sesuatu. Salah satunya juga adalah bipolar. Tahu? Ini bipolar. Salah satu artis kita, Marshanda ya, itu mengalami bipolar. Ya, kemudian multiple disabilities, ini gabungan dari beberapa. It looks like that I have to speak in English right now. I hope that everyone can understand. I'm going to explain, okay? Is it okay? Okay. Yeah, so what is the multiple disabilities? This is where we sometimes we experience two kinds of or more than one of disabilities. So, for example, like deaf blinds. So, so we have a impairment in our vision and as well as in our hearing. So, and the other one is deaf and mute. Sometimes they comes between. So it's always come together between deaf and mute. And the next one is ADHD, is attention deficit hyperactive disorder. So it's just like hyperactive, where you can find these children are very more than active actually. And what is the one of the symptoms is the attention deficits in ADHD. So they are really hard to get have attention to something. That's the problems of ADHD kids. And the next one is autism. ASD is autism spectrum disorder. So there's a 5 level of ASD from that's the very low, like PDD, NOS, pervasive developmental disorder, not otherwise specified, Rett syndrome, and something else. So there's a 5 kinds of ASD. So autism itself have spectrums, and we have to know that every spectrums have their own characteristics. And the next one is specific learning difficulties. If you can hear, if you knows about this, just like what Daddy Corbuzier has, he has what was it called? A dyslexia. Yeah, Daddy Corbuzier is have a dyslexia. That's one of the specific learning difficulties. Dyslexia, dyscalculia, dysgraphia include slow learner even. We mean slow learner is included in these categories. And the next one is the last one, I think, is gifted and talented. So someone with a very extraordinary high intellectually, which is, yes, he has still have a problems, although he has some things that more than regular persons, but still he has problems with his socials, with his emotionals. So it's only like his intellectual is very high, but his social is still low. His communication, his emotional is still very low. That's become a problem in gifted and talented kids. Okay, next. Kembali ke belakang, move back in the previous. Okay, there's another health conditions. So it includes the developmental delay. So if you have kids at your house, your kids or children, or maybe you can find, have a developmental disorder delays, it means that it's included as a disabilities. And traumatic brain injuries, which mean that someone who sometimes it's just acquired, have an accident or something like that. It's included. Sometimes it's affect to your communication, it affect to your motoric function like that. Like strokes, it's included in the traumatic brain injuries and drug abuse. Some regulations include this as one of disabilities. Okay, next. It's about
model of disability. We should know about this one. This is where people are looking at disability from their perspective. So there is a two kind of perspective here. There's a first is the medical model of disability, and the second one is the social model of disability. What is the difference between them? So the first, the medical model, like what we've seen in the pictures. So it's seen people with disability as something that needs to be fixed. So it means like a doctor saying like, oh, okay, you have a disease, you are sick, you are broken, you need to be cured, you need to be fixed. That's why you can't. So, for example, there is stairs and you can't passing through that stairs just because you are in the wheelchair. Okay, so the doctor said that you need to be fixed. So you can walk again and you can pass through that stairs. But social models say that people become disability is because of the environment is not appropriate to his conditions. Which means that if there is a stairs, it's a problem with him. He becomes disability because he can't go passing through that stairs. What can we do? Just make a ramp. Use a ramp, build a ramp on it, and he can passing through that with the same level. I mean, he can go to from the first floor and then the second floor through the stairs using the ramp. So he just used another way to get into the same goals. It just seems like that. But the point is that the environment make him disability, and this is this model. We should pay attention more, or even we have to remove our old model of disability, which is that the medical model of disability. So we have to pay attention for this one, the social model of disability. Next. Okay, there's some issue toward people with disabilities in Indonesia. Okay, there's a lot of issues. There's a lot of challenges. I know this is really hard for us, for me, for others with disabilities living in Indonesia, where people are not really care about us. There's a process. Inclusive is a process, and we still face a lot of challenges. First, we see here there's a policy. Do we have the policy? Yes, we do. We have the laws number 8, 2016. All the students here are with disability, which means that they know about these laws. But you are as a common people, common society, did you know about this one? Do you know about this law? Laws number 8, 2016 about people with disability. Yeah, we do have the regulation, but the problem is still arise. Like we have a homework that the government in 2014 have a commitment to make the National Commission of Disability, National Disability Commission, Komnas Disabilitas, which is formed 3 years after the law has been validated. But we are not seeing that yet. And there's a lot of government regulation, PP. It should be 15 government regulation, but yes, still, there is no, yet we do have one just one from 15. That's the promise from the government, from the president itself. But yes, there's a very long way to get into 15 government regulations. And the second one is employment. What issue in employment? We see a lot of problems in employment and challenges, of course. We have the laws. It said in Article 53, if I'm not mistaken, it said that the government institutions should have 2% from 100. Every 100 employee, they should have 2%, which means 2 from 100. Do we have? Is Brawijaya have already implemented this one? How many lecturer in Brawijaya? How many? No. Total of lecturer in Brawijaya. Thousands, which means 2%. How many of that? 20, isn't it? 20. How many we have? Only one. Pak Amex. Where's Pak Amex? Only one. Yes, unfortunately, we are inclusive university, but we are still not implement these laws yet. But I hope we can be the first university that can have a lot of at least 2%. It means that 20 lecturer with disability in the future. There's a lot of other issues like we know about Dr. Gigi Romi or Brian Sianipar. There's which is lately is viral because they have problems with employment. Okay, and the next one is access to public facilities. Just like we see a lot of facilities in Malang, at least. Some of have a pedestrian with a guiding block for people with visually impaired, but not all in Malang have accessible facilities for people with disability, including the services. And the next one is, there's transportation as well, transportations. There's some cases, I think it's in 2016, Etihad Airways, you still remember about that? Someone with wheelchairs had to be, they have to put her down. So they asked her to get out from the aeroplane by the crew of the aeroplane just because her wheelchair will make the flights, it make the flights in danger just because of her wheelchair at that moment. And there's a lot of issues in the access to financials, access to housings, because I think it's around 70% of people with disability in Indonesia is living with the lower social and economic, which means that housing has become a problem. They don't have the access to the financial support. Like if you go to the bank and you just borrow some money from them, and they will say, are you sure you can put back the credits? Can you pay the credits? I'm not really sure that they will give you the money easily. It's really, really difficult to get that access. Okay? At the media. So there's a lot of media in Indonesia, exposed about people with disability, but the negative side, right? Like we still become like oh, I'm so pity. His life or her life is so, yeah, it's so pity. I mean, it's become like it should be charity based again. It's not about the supported based. So we have to remove from the charity based to supported based. Some of TV like Hitam Putih or Kick Andy have already started by telling or exposed about someone with disability who has achievement something or have some successful in his or her life. That's really good, but we still need a lot more of them. Okay, and many kind of issue in Indonesia regarding the people with disability. Okay, next. Okay, talking about specifically now about education. This is one of a big issue in Indonesia as well. So what is inclusive itself? So inclusive means that when everyone put all the children to attend a regular school and it welcomed by all the neighborhood. Okay, so you not just put someone in the with disability in a regular schools like that, but no one accept him. He or she is not welcomed by the neighborhood. That's not inclusive. And it's also age appropriate. So when you are 6 or 7, you are entered a primary schools, which means that if you have a disability and you are at 6 or 7 and you are willing to enter a primary school, it means that you have accepted if you are pointed as an inclusive schools in Malang, for example. And it should be supported in learning, to learn, support for learning, okay? Contribute and participate in all aspects of the school's life. So that's the point. Participation, contribution, support to learn, welcome, and attending in regular and age appropriate. That's inclusive education. Okay, next. Okay, there's a 5 paradigm of inclusive education. So first, this is what we have to learn about that every kids, every people, every students have their own unique characteristics. Okay, including people with disabilities. Students with disabilities have their own characteristics. Like me, I have a visual impairment. It means that I'm not really have to be. You don't have to modify my chair. It should be the same chair like you. Or how about the table? It's all the same maybe, but maybe you need to change a little bit the color. To be contrast maybe, or maybe enlarge in materials, or maybe use a braille like that. So there's a characteristics. It could be different with the deaf one, the autism one, or the physically disabilities. It could be different between. And the second one is that diversity is a normal thing. We are in Indonesia. We have the motto Bhinneka Tunggal Ika, which means difference in one unity. It's not a problem for us if we see there's some differences. It should be not become a problem. Like maybe when you go in an event where all the people wearing white clothes and you are the only one wearing red. How does it feel? How does it feel to be different? If the people doesn't care about that, I think it doesn't matter. But if everyone just look at you and say, someone with the red clothes, while everyone wearing white, that feels I don't know, I can't just describe that, but I don't like that feel actually. And the third one is reasonable adjustment and accommodation. So we have to provide the reasonable adjustments. So like that what I just mentioned before, it's about like, for me, you just need to provide me with a large font in my materials, like if you just give me, or I have some technology that can help me, so just give me the soft copy. Well, everyone maybe just use paper-based, I'm just using technology-based, a laptop-based maybe. That's a reasonable, at least I'm doing the same exam, for example, but I'm just doing it in a different way. That's a reasonable. And the fourth, it's about student-centered. It should be. It's not teacher-centered anymore. It's student-centered. You have to be focused on him, on her, what he needs. It's really needed to be for you to accommodate him so he can get appropriate services or appropriate materials for him. And the last one is okay, flexible curriculum. Actually, this is for students in primary or secondary, so you can modify. You can just make this to accommodate his needs. We can do this in the university level as actually, but sometimes it's a little bit difficult to make a flexible curriculum, because sometimes we have to follow the curriculums. It's like curriculum centered, right? It's not the student centers anymore. That's why we still meet a lot of problems. Okay, next. Now about the challenges. What is the educational challenges in Indonesia? First is still about the policy. We see we already have the laws, but it's about the commitment from the government, from the schools, from the universities itself. Like, for example, there is a school that have been pointed as an inclusive school. But when someone with a disability wants to enter that primary schools, they just refuse. They just decline him. Like, no, you can't go inside here, with a lot of reasons that is not reasonable actually. And we see the next one is one of the reasons is because of the teachers. Sorry. The second one, it's about fundings. There's a problem with the fundings. Okay, this is still become a challenge because to build facilities like ramp or lift or pedestrian with guiding blocks, it needs money. It needs a lot of budget. And we're still facing a lot of budget problems because, the educational budget in our country is not too big compared to for infrastructures. Actually, this is become one of the infrastructures, but it's because of the commitment of the university or school or the government. They don't want to build that one. Maybe we have to wait someone in the higher level or higher positions have a disability first, then they will know how does it feel if we doesn't have some accessible facilities to get through all the buildings, or if we want to go from your faculty to another faculty or to the rectorate, it's really hard if that's not really accessible for us. And the third, it's about the lack of the qualified and competent educators. If you see a lot of research shows that the teachers is not have really a good knowledge or skills to handle people or students with disabilities. It is from the primary level until the university level. So that's why we held these trainings. It's just to give you skills how to handle these students. Because yes, this is still become a problem in Indonesia. We know we have problems with the teachers itself, like there's a lot of teachers in the city, while it's very low number of teachers in a rural area. And how about the students with disability in rural area? They don't have access to education, right? Just because of this, they don't have good teachers or lecturers. Okay, next is low disability awareness. So people is still not aware about what is disability is. What is the types of disabilities? Like, I have as a lecturer, I have students with visual impairment. So what should I do? When I have pictures, when I have a video, I played a video in my slides, in my presentations, and have you think about how does he will access that kind of video? How can he access that pictures? You just explain it, blah 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 blah. Have you ever feel how does it he feel like? Okay, I don't know what are you talking about. Do you know how many informations you can get from a vision or hearing or other sensory? Do you know how many? 70% is come from your vision. And do you know, if I can't see and you're just explaining something in front of me, which means that almost 70% I can't get what you are explaining to me. Okay? So only 30% with my hearing, if I can focus on my hearing, if I'm not, it's only 20%. So you can imagine students with visually impaired in the class only get 20%, while others get 100%. That's not fair for me. Okay, so you have to think about this one. The environment access, there's a lot of problems, like I'm in the counseling unit in psld. There's a lot of students complaining about their socials. So it's not about the universities, not about the lectures anymore, but it comes from his or her own peers. The students, his friends or her friends is not accepting him. So it's just more like that neglect him or just isolated him. That's become a problem. That's become a challenge for us because we are not common with diversity. Okay, next is the access itself to higher education. How many percent that people with disability in Indonesia you can access higher education? How many percent? There is a data for BPS. Only 36%. Okay, I start with how many people with disability in Indonesia? It's around 20 to 30%, which means 10 to 20%, which means around 26 million, 30 million people with disability in Indonesia. Only 30% is attending or have in the school age, 30 to 40% in the school age, including in the university, okay? But only 36% who are attending the schools or universities. it's very low. It's more lower for someone with disabilities into the higher education. It's very, very small number of it. So, and almost 20%, it's never attending the schools. Okay, so only 36, and it's become smaller again, maybe 10% of it. Okay, that's the problem. So the problem is become like one of them is the selections. The selections is not accessible for us. Okay, it's a problem, and the other problems, and the last is the student itself. So they have a challenges. This is what the challenges in inclusive education in Indonesia. They don't have a motivations. They don't have good skills to adjust with the environment. They are dependent. They're not independent. They're dependent to others. That's become a problem. Okay, next. Okay, this is my experience actually. I want to tell you about my experience when I studying in higher education, especially. I was first in 2005, actually in 2000, in year 2000, but I failed many times during my study in the university. So first in ITS, second is in the STICOM. I have to move to another university until in 2005. I was in Universitas Merdeka Malang in psychology. I have finished in 2009, and all is without support. So there is no support at all. I have to adjust. I have to adapt with my conditions. I have to find my own strategies to overcome all my obstacles. And 2009, I was attend to Magister Profesi Psikologi in Airlangga University. I have to fail again in 2011. Then I have to move to science, to Magister Science Psikologi in 2013. 11 to 13. I'm just graduated from Airlangga in 2013, which means I have spent 13 years in the college just because I don't know what kind of field that I can get into. I don't have any support. I have a disability, but no one will accept me. There's a lot of problems that I have faced during my study. But then I got a scholarship from AES in 2015. I'm finished my Master of Education in Special Education in 2017. And I feel when I was in Australia, I have a lot of support, including technology. Next, can you do this? Next slide? Yes, this is what I got from Australia. So first I got like a handheld magnifier. So it helped me to read and write it because I have problems in writing. So that helped me. And in the handheld, it's portable. I can bring that everywhere. And the second one is the CCTV. This one is only at home. Use this one. It's a bigger screen, but I can make something bigger with that one. Actually, it's just same with the handheld magnifier, and also software and computer software with JAWS, NVDA, Zoom text, because I still need magnification, so I can just make my screen become bigger because of this software. And there's a lot of software that can help me to access a lot of materials. This makes me I can pass through all my studying in Australia, and I'm just finishing on time. So it's 2 years, and I just finished that on time. And of course, I do have a lot of another kind of strategies like using a 10 fingers techniques to typing, use the recordings and a lot of video, voice recordings, use all of that. That's from me, but from the lecture, like when I was at Flinders, when someone, my lecturers give some, show me some video, he just sit beside me, and she said like this, I'm gonna play a video, but I'm gonna describe what is on the video. That's one of the accommodations that you can use to help people with visually impaired. Okay, next. I think that's all from me. Thank you very much for listening.
Okay, thank you Pak Tommy for very insightful materials about educational challenges faced by students with disabilities in Indonesia. Well, I will invite 3 questions for the first session. Okay, we have one. Please mention your name and your question.
Baik, terima kasih. Nama saya Nadia dari Fakultas Ekonomi dan Bisnis. Terima kasih atas undangan yang luar biasa dari psld untuk acara hari ini. Dan Pak Tommy yang sangat menginspirasi di hari ini terkait kalau tadi menjelaskan ada beberapa student di FEBUB memang dari teman-teman difabel. Nah, kalau tadi dijelaskan salah satu cara untuk mengevaluasi dengan video, kita menceritakan ini loh videonya seperti ini. Kemudian bagaimana dengan disabilitas lainnya? Apakah ada tips atau trik lain? Sementara di manajemen sendiri untuk RPS ataupun apa itu istilahnya silabusnya kita kan masih untuk ordinary student. How about the extraordinary one gitu? Kita belum bisa customize karena kalau ngomong masalah SNDT, standar mutu UB kita masih mengacu pada LO tersebut. Nah kira-kira idealnya bagaimana? Karena kan kalau kita ngomong masalah bahan masakan kita masih untuk student yang biasa seperti itu. Nah, mohon arahan. Terima kasih.
Okay. Do you have to answer it in English or just in Indonesia?
You can ask by English if you mind. It's okay.
In English? Okay, so she was asking, sorry, Ibu Tania from FEB. Oh, sorry, Nadia. Ibu Nadia from FEB, from Economic and Business. So she was asking about how to deal with others with other disabilities, exclude the visually impaired. So, for example, that I just give you an example of people with visually impaired, blind visually impaired. So our problems is our visions. That's our impairment, which means that everything that you have shows in visually in a like pictures or even text or video or everything will not get. We don't have access to that one, which means we need something to get access to that one. So if text, okay, we can use our technology like laptops or everything. But how about pictures? How about the videos? You have to describe that. Okay, you have to describe
the pictures, you have to describe the videos because we can't see. But how about, for example, deaf students? They don't have problems with their visions, which means they can still see. It's not a problem with the videos. Okay, you can still show the videos, but what modifications you can use to accommodate these students with deaf? I mean, you can use subtitles. Okay, so you just use the subtitles so he or she still can follow what is the that man saying about, like that, because they still can read. Of course, visually they don't have any problems. That means that you can use that one. But how about the others? People with physically impairment, they don't have problems with hearing. They don't have problems with vision. You still can use a normal, the regular curriculums. So it doesn't have to be modified. It doesn't matter. The modification is just like this. For me, in my experience, when I have to doing some exam, I need more time. So I still can see, which means that you can give me a paper base, but I'm gonna use my handheld magnifier to see it. But it needs time more. You can use an extra time for me, like 50 or 100%. So if the other students got like in 1 hour, which means I should have 2 hours to do that exam, the same exam. You don't have to modify the materials. You don't have to reduce in materials. It's the same, but you have just give me more time to do that. Even another assignment that maybe someone need 1 month. But maybe I need 1 month in 1 week. So it's about extra times. The other of that, outside of that, I'm having a lot of technology that can help me. But this is one of the problem as well, because all the technology that I have mentioned before is very, very expensive. Like the CCTV, it's around 5,000 Australian dollars. It's around 50 million. The handheld is $2,000. It's around 20 million rupiahs. It's very expensive. And all the software, Zoom text is around 10 million. JAWS is around 60 million. So if we, what I've got from AAS at that time is around 10,000 million just for the technology. So you can imagine that funding is always be the issue in Indonesia because we don't have that lot of funding or budget to accommodate this excessive technology, but we still have something else, alternatives. So we can build all the technology in a very cheap, more what you call affordable technology. We can working together with someone from the technical faculty, I think, IT or everything. That's why we have a lot of applications or anything that more affordable for us to get. Yeah, specifically, you can just ask to psld later if you have problems in your during your lecturing someone. If you meet you have a student with disability in your class and you don't know how to handle this one, you can ask us just specifically how to handle these students later. I think is that answering your questions?
Yeah. Okay.
Shall I just respond to Mr. Tommy's expression?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I'm Dr. Premavati Vijayan, Vice Chancellor,
Yes.
Avinashali Institute for Home Science and Higher Education for Women, Coimbatore, Tamil Nadu. So I was actually a resource teacher for the visually impaired. In the year 1980, the world, the International Year of the Disabled Persons was celebrated all over the world. I think some of you have not burned also. At the time, our institute, in collaboration with Christopher Blind and Mission, the headquarters is in Germany, and along with them we started integrated education for the visual impairment, starting from primary school. And Tommy was explaining a lot about very effectively the type of disability and inclusion, what is inclusion, challenges of inclusive education program, and also how to include these persons with disabilities with a lot of criteria. If the criteria is okay, then 10% functional inclusion will be moving in all education institutions. And also the census of that is the population of disabled in Indonesia and the facilities available in Indonesia. It's very, 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 very nice to hear. And also you are also contributing, you are also a tutor and guide, philosopher and counselor for many of the students who are approaching you, and all over you are concentrating on the service based, promoting education, promoting employment, promoting all support services, how they have to get it. And I'm really very happy. So I would like to comment on in our place, Avinashlinam University. As I told you, in 1980 itself we started in the school. I was the first teacher, resource teacher. I did my diploma course in Scotland, Edinburgh University. And after that only we started this program. Because I did my Master of Education program, general approach for teaching, then later I did. Because general learning, if we study, then it is a little adaptation with conceptual wise. And here also, as you were, in our experience, I could say that he was telling that is 70% of learning takes place through our vision, sight. So sight and vision are entirely different. Okay, so vision, sight is anybody we have sight, but vision, that is when I look into, so I should have the ability to perceive the concept. Okay, everyone should have vision. Then the functional integration inclusion is 10% perfect for visual impairment. Because if we have, you are telling about modification, isn't it? So we have a mantra of teaching, like duplication, modification, substitution and omission. So duplication is nothing but whatever we are in the book, we will be just giving information like problems in mathematics, very simple concepts. And models, not complicated models. And modification also, for example, in the primary school books, first standard. So number concept, maybe finger 5, number 5. So 5 elephants. But there is no meaning of tactual presentation of 5 elephants for the children, and it is very tedious for the teacher also. Maybe a coin of 5 sticks, we can stick, then we can give it. Or that is, you can give it to them and then ask them to explore likewise. So with my experience, visually challenged children are good in inclusion and they have compensatory skills. Due to loss of vision, in the young age itself, the hearing ability, olfactory, smell and taste, kinesthetic ability, tactual ability, all should be developed very perfectly. If it is so, there is no problem at all. Also, mobility training we are giving to children, younger children. So in that case, the peer groups are the best teachers for them. So we will give how to go with, that is, for example, always when children are there in the school, so they will take like this. 2-3 children will combine together, we will come like this to the room, but we will tell them, no, don't come always in group. So I am a guide, she is visually impaired, so we have to walk like this. Okay, it is easy for them. you may not visualize the person is visually impaired. So she is my guide. I will be going like this wherever I want to go. Very simple. There is no need. So peer groups are the best teachers for them, because teacher is in the classroom for only for a few hours. But based on the guidance, children are, and also children are very fond of. And these children, they have a lot of extraordinary skill. Do you agree, Tommy? Extraordinary skill? Because you are using, that is perfectly all sensory skills. That is why he is coming up well. Even in villages, my grandmother, grandfather, they will ask whether they have an extraordinary, not an extraordinary, they are perfectly using all the sensory organs in the right time, in the right form. That is the thing. And substitution, like, see, for example, we have vision and we are going to park, zoo, and we are enjoying the environment, beauty around us. But for the visually impaired, like fur models are there, just to give substitution, near normal experience we have to give. In the class, teacher is teaching, so we have to give near normal experiences. But when we go to park or any other places, we can just ask them to explore. So likewise, I'm very happy, Tommy, your presentation was very superb and your experiences shared was very, very informative. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the comment, Ibu Premavati Vijayan, and welcome to our training today. And then because we have a very